Welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast, strategies that help entrepreneurs build reputable and profitable brands. Here's your host, Henry Kaminski Jr.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast. We are going to do this once again via Facebook Live, so you probably will get some interaction with some of my Facebook following. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like Randall Grizzle just signed on. What's going on, my friend? Well, today I want to share with you guys an amazing guest that I just met literally yesterday. I just got an overwhelming response. What I've realized is I've looked at my client roster recently, and I realized that I have a lot of men that I'm working with, but I have also recently onboarded some really awesome women entrepreneurs that are doing amazing things in their industry. And so I wanted to see more of that. And so yesterday I literally put out a post asking people if they could recommend any awesome entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs that would want to be on the Brand Doctor Podcast. And I just got inundated with references. So our next guest was quick on the draw, literally booked the next available appointment. And so without further ado, I want to introduce Marley Baird from Marley Baird Media. What is going on, Marley?
Hey, I'm so happy. This is so much fun.
So I know you are traveling. You're actually going to Russell Brunson's event. You're actually there now, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So here's what we want to do. I do this very casually. I don't have any specific real format. However, this podcast is for entrepreneurs looking for strategies to help them build their brands. So I want to know, because when you Facebook messaged me, you gave me a very quick, high-level view of your backstory, and I found it pretty fascinating. And I want to dive deeper into it and kind of let you take the show over and sort of bring us through the journey on how you started your entrepreneurial career and how you got to where you are today.
So I was actually in a 9-to-5 several years ago. I was a dental hygienist. I cleaned teeth all day. How boring, I know. But before that, I was working in radio, working in event management, and we actually produced a lot of conferences with like best-selling authors like Gary Vaynerchuk before he was the huge Gary Vaynerchuk. And so it was pretty cool working with these authors and Seth Godin and being able to hear them live on stage. And so that kind of started my interest in marketing while I was in school for dental hygiene, which I knew was only going to be a temporary thing. And in every position I had, because I would do dental hygiene, but that's not very creative, and you can only clean people's teeth for so long every day without losing your mind. So I was working in other jobs, and everything I did, I always ended up just doing their social media and doing their website and writing their blogs and doing all this stuff just because I was good at it. And even just as a kid, I was always very active on the computer, and I would steal my dad's video camera and make these funny videos with my friends. And so as I got into everything I was doing, I was always just doing the social media and the videos and all the fun video online stuff for every company I was working with. And then even when I was in the dental office, I was doing their social media for the dental office and like in between patients just on my phone. And then from there, the IT guy at the dental office was like, hey, you're good at this. Can I refer you to a client? And from there, it was referral until I was like, people can do this as a business. You can make money doing this. And so I got to the point where I had to make the decision, take the leap of, do I stay in dental hygiene, which is kind of boring, or do I go all in and make this my business?
Wow. And so you just took the plunge.
I did. I mean, I'll be honest, there's kind of a funny story to it that I was on the fence. It was 2 months before my wedding that things were just stable, but I was like, we'll get married, we'll do the honeymoon and everything, and maybe I'll do it next year. Maybe I'll leave dental hygiene next year. But my husband got in a bad dirt biking accident. He fell off his dirt bike. He fractured his tailbone, had both arms in casts, had awful road rage. Like he had no blood. It was just scraped right off. And he couldn't go to work. Like both of his hands were in casts. He needed like full-time care. And who's going to do that? So I called my dental office that Monday saying, I can't come in today. And I don't know when I'll ever be able to come back in. And again, it was 2 months before our wedding. My husband couldn't go to work. I didn't go to my 9 to 5 in the dental office. But I had my other clients. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go all in on this business. And I just had no other choice but to go all in and succeed at it. So that was like the meant to be moment that pushed me into going all in with my business.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So your back is against the wall and you're like, there's no other way but forward.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because we all know as entrepreneurs, it's never a straight path, right? It's always like, it almost looks like an EKG, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, what were some of the challenges that you faced as you started to build your brand and really start to get this business off of its feet, full time?
Definitely getting there's so many things. I mean, getting focused on like, what is my specialty, what I want to do. And that's where I moved. So I was in social media and then moved into really specializing in video marketing and video branding, specializing with working with influencers and entrepreneurs who want to scale their business and 3x their following and grow their audiences, even organically, reduce their ad costs through doing YouTube videos, Facebook video marketing. And so that's what I specialized in. But definitely at the beginning, because I went through this like scarcity at first, like, oh my God, I have to make this work. I took on everything. And I got to the point where I was just so overloaded, but I was also on this adrenaline rush of, oh my gosh, I'm a business owner. This is amazing. That I got to a point where I was like, I'm not sleeping. I feel like I'm crazy. My husband misses me. Like I'm working all the time. So there were definitely some struggles with like getting out of that. I mean, there's the good part of the hustle, and then there's also the part of the hustle that can be really damaging of like, you don't have to kill yourself to work. You can actually have a lifestyle and balance your life and still be successful in your business.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let me ask you a question. As you work with your clients, right? There's a lot of issues going on where entrepreneurs like ourselves think that we can take on the world ourselves, right? Think we can take everything on as a business owner. We can do our marketing. We can do our accounting. We can do our sales. We can do everything inside of our business. And I've heard over and over again where when it comes to social media, right? I hear a lot of entrepreneurs saying, well, I just don't have the time for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that to be a real big mistake when it comes to trying to build your brand, grow your audience, and generate more leads and sales, right? So with all that said, what are some of the pain points that your clients deal with that you help solve?
I love that, because I also before was in this mindset of like, I have to do everything myself to be successful. And then when I grew the team was when I got to have more time for myself, but also focus on my zone of genius that you can go further together. So the big things that my clients struggle with, because video is just amazing for generating leads for your business, getting yourself visible. The big pain points I hear the most is I don't have time. I'm scared of the camera, or I don't have enough equipment. I don't have the money to do it. So what we do for our clients is we batch film tons of their content. So even for like our high level clients that they go all in for like the big package that we can offer is we will fly to them and we will film 6 months of content for them within a few days. So then that way their video content is done. They don't have to worry about it's hands off. All we need them to do is just like maybe write an email to their list to promote the video that we just posted on YouTube. Everything is done for them. We batched it. We save them their time and they're just, think of the efficiency, because if I was told you have to film a video once a week, oh, you got to set up your camera equipment. You got to think of what to post, or what to write, what kind of video to make. But if you can just do it all in 3 days and your next 6 months is mapped out, that is so much time and freedom for you. And the other thing that people say a lot is the thing about the equipment, which really just get started, even if you want to start with like filming with your camera phone. But the other thing is a lot of fear. So people want to be the influencer. They want to show up and be visible, but they're saying, well, I'm afraid of the camera. But the truth is you are not afraid of the camera. You're afraid of stepping out of your comfort zone. You're afraid of the judgment, but you have to understand what's that costing you to hold yourself back from that. And just think of the people that you're not serving when you're not willing to step out of that comfort zone.
As we say in Jersey, you You're good, you. This is phenomenal insight. I mean, what you're saying is hitting the nail on the head on so many different levels. And so my question is, how does one get over that fear?
The big thing for me is understanding the big picture. And the other thing that people say is like, well, who am I to do videos? Who am I to teach people? And something that I heard Rachel Peterson said this once of like, well, why would I write a book? Oprah already has a book. You have a message that your audience needs to hear. And if you don't teach them, who's going to teach them? Who better than you? You know, there's a lot of influencers out there that don't have the right messaging, or maybe it's different from what your message is, or even that audience it doesn't resonate with the other person. They want to resonate with you, and remove yourself from the equation. There are people out there, even if it's a small number, who need to be inspired and impacted by your message. And if you don't do it, you're doing them a disservice. So when you remember that, it might help to encourage you to get yourself out there.
We're cut from the same cloth there, my friend. Mm-hmm. A lot of the stuff that you're saying is making 1,000% sense. And, you know, I tell my clients all the time, if you don't put yourself out there, what does your audience have to grab a hold of? Mm-hmm. Like, how are they going to get to know, like, and trust you? Right. Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, you're doing a huge disservice for your audience by not putting that value out there. And, you know, my big kick this week was, if you want a bigger audience, if you want people to follow you and listen to what it is that you have to say, give them a reason to.
Yes. Yeah. Think of how many people would not be impacted if Tony Robbins didn't put himself out there, if Oprah didn't put herself out there. Like, how many lives would not be changed if they didn't have the courage to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into some valuable valuable take homes for our listeners and viewers today on Facebook. We got some great feedback. I see Monica Klein here. Oh my, exactly what I'm looking for. Once again, thanks, Henry. Please connect us. Thanks. Renee Envy says, beautiful. Gib Jack says, all great successful people have moments of difficulties that give them opportunities to extraordinary instead of ordinary. Yeah. Good on you, Marley. That's awesome. And then Renee says, yes, it looks like everything is crumbling, but it actually comes together, you know, over time. And so this is great feedback from the audience. Now, what is some feedback, or what are some things that our listeners can do starting today to help them increase that engagement, increase that audience and that viewership, to help them connect with their audience on a deeper level?
Yes. Okay. First of all, do it. Get your camera, get your phone, even if it's just like I said, it can be your phone on your camera on your phone. And funny story, like when I first started, and if you go way back into my YouTube channel, it's a little embarrassing. We've come a long way, but we used to set up my camera. We'd prop it up on a chair with a stack of books, which still wasn't high enough. So I had to like squat down, and my husband held a lamp with no lampshade behind it. So you can bootstrap. You don't need to have all the expensive equipment. Don't let that stop you. Do a Facebook Live, talk to your audience, provide some value, share your story. That's the thing that other people are so scared to talk about, is like, well, who am I? Who cares about my story? But you have a story that other people can resonate with. Whether you're a single mom who's struggling and is working towards making it, there are so many other people that will relate with that. Whether you're the business owner that is working on work-life balance, people will resonate with that. They need to hear your story. And when they hear your story, that's how their heart gets invested into it. And the other thing is, when you're creating content, consider the platform you're creating it for. So you can also repurpose one video into multiple different platforms that you can post it on. So for example, when I'm posting on YouTube, because Google owns YouTube, I want to make my video something that even the title is something that people would search for. So I'll give you an example. When I first started, had no idea what I was doing, I made a video called, "Did you know Instagram does this?" And that's very I tried to make it really clickbaity, that people would be like, oh, what does Instagram do? So they'd click on it. but nobody's clicking on that. No one's even finding it because that's not something that's searchable. Like Google and YouTube is a search engine. So if someone's wanting to know, like, how do I do this on Instagram, they're actually going to type that in. If you go to Google right now and type in how to use Canva, my video shows up there out of 3 million results and gets 1,500 views per week organically. So when you make a video for YouTube, actually think of how you can title it. That is how people would type it into Google or YouTube to find it.
You are so badass when it comes to this stuff.
Thank you.
I love it. It's funny. I have a colleague in the branding space who went on vacation with his family in Taiwan, and they stayed at the W Hotel. And he did, with his DSLR, he did a little sort of commentary on the branding of the W Hotel.
Cool.
And he shows up, his branding agency shows up first when you type in W Hotel branding.
No way.
and he didn't even do it.
That is
like
so
W
funny.
Hotel is not even his client. So these little ninja tricks are how do you say it? Like tweak the system. You work the system in your favor. Yeah. And it's funny, I'm not a real religious guy, but I'm super, super spiritual. I feel like people come into your life on the right times for the right reasons. There's no coincidences whatsoever. And I always like to say that there's energies out there, and this is going to sound woo-woo as hell, and I know.
I love the woo-woo. I'm all for it.
People are going to be like, all right, Henry, relax with all that. But I will tell you this, like, when I ask for things specifically, I get them every single time. And it's funny, like yesterday I asked, show me some really awesome female entrepreneurs. And not even 24 hours later, here we are. Right? Yeah. So use those energies out there, like, to your advantage. Don't work against them, work with them, because that's how everything is going to work out for you. That's how everything is going to you're going to get ahead so much faster when you start to, I don't want to use the word manipulate, but really start to work those energies in your favor. So real quick. So as you were talking, I was actually showcasing your website. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Thank you, I did.
I love the way it looks. And one of the things that I wanted to point out with your website, because I'm a big brand identity guy. I design brands for entrepreneurs for the past 10 and a half years. So I know a good site when I see one. And one of the things that I see right away on your site when I come to it is that social proof. You have the reach, you have the engagement, you have all these statistics and they're not showcased in a boring way. It's just like, bam, like, this is the results that you get from me and my services. And I want to say that I applaud you on that, because I see so many cookie cutter websites out there that are very sterile and there's no personality to them whatsoever. And that's really killing your brand's connection to its audience. And one of the other things that I saw right away with your site that differentiated you from a lot of the other sites that I've visited is this personal touch.
Thank you.
When you get to your site, you got your colors, you got your you got all types of stuff going on that has this personal touch to it. And I just love it. Sorry, I have the one of my service guys are here they're just doing their monthly routines, and my nanny just caught him at the nick of time. Or else Canelo went crazy on him. But anyway, well, that's what happens when we do things live, guys. What can I say?
It happens.
So before we wrap up, what are some well, let me ask you this. Let me go this way. What's your mission?
My mission, I just want to influence and impact people, whether you are the person in your 9-to-5 that's considering going for your dream and building your own business, designing the lifestyle you want, giving you that courage and the inspiration to do that. Or if you're already an influencer or entrepreneur just like you, who wants to continue to spread your message and reach a wider audience without having to spend a ton of money on Facebook ads or any kind of advertising through video. Like, this is the way that all social media content is moving. Get your message out there, share your story, get yourself on a platform for the right people who need it. So I just want to continue to influence and impact people and keep spreading the positive messages to the world.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Very, very in line with my mission and why I do what I do. And, I feel like we're all here for a purpose. Yeah. And we need to find what that purpose is. And when we do, we need to just triple, quadruple, 10x down on it and really see, our superpowers and use our superpowers to our advantage in a good way, of course. Yeah. Right. And whoa, almost lost that puppy. And I totally agree with all of what you're saying. And sometimes we're not going to know everything, and we need to leverage people, like you, like me, to get to where we want to be a lot quicker. Now, real quick, I just noticed Gib Jack had a question. It said, do you guys feel it's better to work off of your strength or work towards customer needs? What would you say on that?
Focus on your strengths. And I mean, if there's something that you still want to serve a customer for, you can always partner with someone who does have that superpower. I believe, do what you do best, outsource the rest. That's going to create your product to be the best it can be, and also give the best product for whoever you're serving, whether that's a client or a customer. You can always partner with the right people if that's not your strength, but I would say focus on your strengths.
Yeah. And I think I would add to that, I think I know what Gibby's talking about when he says, do you focus, do you work towards customer needs? Well, we got to make sure, guys, that our product or service, there is a need for it.
Yes.
Right. And I said this before in a previous episode. I said, a lot of folks out there, the big heavy hitters, follow your passion, make your passion your paycheck and all that. And listen, I'll be the first to tell you, don't do anything that you're not passionate about. Otherwise, you're just wasting time, right? However, make sure that whatever that passion is, if you do decide to take the entrepreneurial route and actually make it happen and try to do it full time, make sure that there's a need, right? Make sure that somebody is willing to buy it, right? Because we have a lot of great ideas that we think are the best thing since sliced bread. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to whether one person is ready to take out their wallet and pay you for it. And so you got to make sure that that passion is lined up with people's needs and customer needs. And when it does, it's a home run. I mean, guys, it's a very simple equation. If what you do solves someone's problem, they will pay you money for it, and I always tell people, if you really want to connect with people on a, and start to generate more leads and sales, you have to understand those pain points. And that's so unsexy to people. People don't want to spend the time on learning people's pain points and understanding their target audience. And I tell you that if you don't do that, eventually you'll be out of business because what you're saying doesn't resonate. And when people don't resonate with you, they don't pay attention to you. And what Marley's saying here is all true. I mean, to gather that audience, to gather those eyeballs, to get that attention, one, you got to do it in a creative way. And she's saying video, and I agree with it 1,000%. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here with her right now doing these fancy footwork camera moves and, producing this 9 different ways for my audience to consume it. But at the end of the day, guys, you do got to follow your strengths, like Marley said, and really double down on them and make sure that there is a need for what it is that you're trying to provide. And when you find that, that's when the floodgates open. I mean, it's that simple. Paul Sabay says, I want to find the new sliced bread.
Me too.
And then Gib Jack said, you guys are Gucci. This info is gold.
Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that.
Awesome, Gibby. I appreciate you, man. And I appreciate Paul and everybody else who commented on today's broadcast. So, Marley, let's wrap this up. For those that are looking to find more information about you, where could they go?
I have a YouTube channel where I give free business and social media tips every single week. It's youtube.com/Marley Baird Media. So you can check out my Facebook page. And on my Facebook page, I have a free masterclass that's called How to Create 60 Days of Social Media and Video Content in 8 hours. That's one of the other biggest hangups is, like I said, just not having enough time. This masterclass will teach you how you can do that for yourself.
Awesome. Well, Marley, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're traveling and for taking the time out today to speak to my audience and to really drop some bombs when it comes to leveling up your brand and giving them some tangible takeaways that they can start implementing immediately. So just want to thank you again for being part of the show and stepping up quickly. I love you because you are an action taker. It's not even 24 hours and we're on the podcast episode producing it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
That's awesome. Absolutely. So real quick, guys, some housekeeping stuff. You guys know that I have a private Facebook group called the Brand Doctors Hangout. And if you're not part of that yet, what are you waiting for? So head over to Facebook right now and go check out the Brand Doctors Hangout. It's myself and about 400 other like-minded entrepreneurs that are all helping each other build each other's brands up. So head over there right now and check that out. The other thing, last but not least, is if you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, please do. And if you haven't shared it with a colleague, please do. And I thank you in advance for it. I will continue to bring you heat every single day to help you with strategies to help you build your brand and take your business and life to the next level. So have an awesome day, guys, and I will catch you on the next episode. Take care.
You've been listening to the Brand Doctor Podcast with Henry Kaminski Jr. To get your appointment with the doctor, visit Brand Audit at www.uniquedesignz.net.